Well, hey, howdy, and welcome to the Camp Wounded Workshop. Wednesday, late at night. If anybody's been following this, I'm doing a restoration on this USFS lantern, and I had this puppy all built and beautiful, painted, and everything put together, and the sucker wouldn't fire. I did everything to diagnose all the classic issues. Changed generators, did that, the other thing, and finally I realized there's just not enough pressure in that font to make it burn. So I pulled the pump out, and it had a leather cup on it, which was soft, but evidently it was so soft that when I'd pump, air would escape around it coming back. I had some pressure, but it was not pressurizing the font. So I said, oh, that's simple, I'll fix that. So I got the synthetic washer from a newer lantern, put that in, and when I started to pump, I realized I wasn't getting any pressure in there. So I thought, oh heck, it's the check valve. So I took the check valve out. Now, most of you guys know about how that works, but I'm going to show you anyway here if I can. This is the bottom of a pump from a donor lantern. This is the bottom of what the pump looks like. There's a threaded opening. This is a check valve. The check valve screws into that good and tight. And then the end of your rod screws into the check valve. There's a little ball bearing in there on a spring that keeps the pressure from sneaking out. So I looked at the check valve and it looked perfectly fine. And I looked at another check valve and it looked perfectly fine. So I soaked these both in acetone just to be safe and put it back in, and no deal. So I thought, oh heck, what's going on? So without the check valve, I put the pump in and I still couldn't get air to pass. And I thought, uh-oh, that means that the up tube from the snorkel tube from the bottom of the pump was clogged somehow. When I did this restoration, started this restoration, my buddy Greg sent me this really nice font with no dents. There was nothing wrong with it except for the fact that somebody had electrified it and cut a big ratty hole in there to put the electrical crap. He sent me another donor font, so I took the bung cap off of that, and I got a way I can slip it on the inside, solder it, make it nice and tight. And then to be safe, I thought, well, I'm going to Caswell that sucker. So I put Caswell in, turned it upside down, let the Caswell set. And then I thought, if the snorkel tube is clogged, I probably got Caswell in it. So I was cussing at myself. So I thought, okay, so I can clear the Caswell. I put methyl ethyl ketone in here, pumped it, left it overnight. It didn't dissolve the Caswell. So I soaked it in a sodium bath that I use for cleaning up fonts. Nothing happened. I got a little more aggressive. I put this in a pot of liquid sodium hydroxide, boiled it, still nothing. So I thought, crap, I gotta take this thing apart. So I unsoldered the repair on the bung cap, looked inside, and let's see if I can, hang on. I'm working with two hands here. This is the inside of that font. And I was pleased to discover that the Caswell had not clogged that little tube coming up, that snorkel tube. Which made me feel good about myself, but worse about the lantern, because that meant there was something screwed up with the tube. So what I'm going to have to do here, as I said, I got this off of a dead donor lantern so I could really look close at what's going on here. There's a little tiny hole on the other side of the check valve, and the snorkel tube is soldered into that. So I thought, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this snorkel tube out and resolder it. But then, looking close, holy snap and Martha, that thing's right at the bottom of the font. There's no way I'm going to be able to get in there to unsolder that tube and solder in a new one and make a good connection. So I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it. And then the lantern muse spoke to me and said, well, just unsolder the entire pump tube. And the good news is, the old brass fonts, all the plumbing that they put in was soldered in with a lead-based solder. On the newer lanterns with the steel font, they actually use a copper solder, which takes a lot of heat to melt. So this, just with my propane torch, I'm going to be able to break the solder, slide the tube out a little, so I got access to where that snorkel tube is supposed to go in there. I'll probably use a new piece of copper. I don't know why the heck that's all clogged up, but I'm going to solder in a new snorkel tube, slide it back into the font, resolder it, clean up any solder spill around there, and we should be good to go. When I started on this project, I've been excited about doing this project. Greg sent me this months ago, and it finally came up to the workbench. And I was really excited about doing it. I thought, wow, this is going to be a snap. I'll get this thing done in 2 days. This is the second week I'm working on it. But anyway, so the bottom line is that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to unsolder this tube, pull it out, solder in a new snorkel, slide it back in, resolder it. Then I got to slip this puppy back in there, solder it, and I don't know if I'm going to Caswell it this time or not. I'm going to take a lot of extra care of soldering, try to get a lot of solder in there so I know I got a good joint. And but it wasn't my fault. The Caswell did not clog that. It was something else. Now on newer lanterns, this is a donor lantern. On newer lanterns, there's no problem Caswelling it because you can see that snorkel tube doesn't come anywhere close to the inner wall of the font. It stands way off from the inner wall. But on these old guys, that snorkel tube is like within 1/8 of an inch of the wall. That's why I thought I might have a problem. But anyway, that's it. I'm too tired to even try this tonight, otherwise I'll just screw it up. So I'm going to wait tomorrow after my second cup of coffee. I'm going to dump into this. Lord willing, by tomorrow night, I'm going to have a USF in beautiful red that's burning. All right, so that's it, y'all. Have a good night and say a lantern prayer for me so I don't screw this up. Thanks for stopping by Camp Wound Dog Workshop. Bye-bye.